place he went. He eludes historians only on the 260 days he spent at sea, travelling between his dominions. Although he never crossed the Atlantic, Charles also left a documentary mark on his American dominions. The Viceroy of Mexico issued almost 1,500 orders in the Emperor's name in 1542 and 1543 alone, many of them in response to a direct imperial order. Some of his warrants, cédulas reales, gained iconic status because they legalized New Mexico settlements, altepetl, and became coveted foundational documents, of which copies were still made in the 1990s. Moreover, since in pre-Hispanic Mexico the founding of the various altepetl took place under the will and protection of the gods, Charles acquired an honored place among the panoply of deities in several of the communities he founded. The emperor strove to achieve immortality in more conventional ways. He sat for portraits, sponsored histories, commissioned works of art, built palaces, and appeared in propaganda spectacles. Mass-produced images of him appeared on coins, medals, ceramics, and even drafts counters, as well as in books and broadsheets. Musicians composed works to celebrate his successes, the Battle of Pavia, the imperial coronation, and sometimes his setbacks, the death of his wife. An international corps of poets, painters, sculptors, glaziers, printers, weavers, jewellers, historians, armourers and scribes strove to project an approved image. The emperor followed the advice of Baldassare Castiglione's study of etiquette, the Courtier, one of Charles's favourite books, published while the author was ambassador at the imperial court and translated into Spanish at Charles's command. He did everything, walking, riding, fighting, dancing, speaking, with one eye on his audience. He would have been appalled that in the 19th century the Spanish government opened his tomb and exposed his naked mummified corpse as a tourist attraction, and that some visitors made drawings while others took photographs. One bribed a guard to detach the tip of one of his fingers as a souvenir, although this vandalism belatedly proved a boon, because forensic examination of the detached digit, now kept in a special receptacle, provided two pieces of important medical evidence. The emperor had suffered from chronic gout, just as he always complained, and he was killed relatively swiftly by a double dose of malaria. Arma virumque cano, I sing of arms and a man. In an important article about the perils associated with writing the life of the emperor, Heinrich Lutz used the opening words of Virgil's Aeneid, a text familiar to Charles, to underline the need for his biographers to focus on those matters that absorbed his time, energy, and resources, above all on war and preparing for war, both because hostilities took up so much of Charles's reign, and because contemporaries noted that he was happiest on campaign and with his army. Lutz argued that other developments, even the Renaissance and the Reformation, should appear only as and when they mattered to Charles, and that they must always be viewed through his eyes. Bearing in mind Lutz's strictures, this biography deploys the available sources, from documents to digits, to illuminate three key issues. How Charles took the crucial decisions that created, preserved, and expanded the world's first and most enduring transatlantic empire. Whether Charles's policy failures arose from structural faults or from personal shortcomings. Could a monarch with superior political skills have done better, or had circumstances created a polity too big for its own good and impossible to defend? In modern parlance, does agent or structure explain the failure to pass on his empire intact? What was it like to be Charles? While writing about one of Charles's role models, Alexander the Great, Plutarch, one of Charles's favourite authors, noted that the most glorious exploits do not always furnish us with the clearest discoveries of virtue or vice in men. Sometimes a matter of less moment, an expression or a jest, informs us better of their characters and inclinations. This biography draws on many such unscripted but revealing episodes. Inevitably, the available sources are uneven. Like every other human being, Charles slept, ate,